Good morning, Tuesday. I have some updates for you. I do not have questions from video comments or emails. So if you have questions in chat, today's a good day for that. This is so disorienting. Things are weird and different here.
DougBot said I'm working here.
Can you guys see that? I saw a SpeakerBot confirmation. I got a confirmation on my own audio, and the audio indicator says I'm just almost bouncing into the yellow. Yeah, once in a while. Fun times. Good golly, it's Miss Molly. Ken Stout started off. Was he the first? I can't quite tell there. It's kind of hidden. No, at 7:15 a.m. pinned comment was the first. Now see there's something that's wrong. You're seeing that now, right? What is this, Doug? Would this be better without my picture in picture? Oh, there I just tried to zoom in and it zoomed on OBS. I've got to make this window active. Can I zoom down to see what's under there? No. Is there something before the 810? No, the one before the 810 is the pinned comment. Now Ken Stout up here says some kind of compliment about the trailer. Now I can't get to it again. Awesome trailer, he says. Okay, but I want to know, Ken Stout, did you catch the reference at all in my pinned comment? The nod, the acknowledgement? Maybe he's just not giving me the satisfaction of noticing. I don't know.
That's a Big 10-4.
He says he did notice. For those who don't know, my comment up here comes from the trailer, Making a Living the Old Hard Way, part of the first part of that song. For all those coming out of retirement tomorrow, meaning Wednesday, tomorrow, to join the workforce, because Ken Stout's coming out of retirement, going back to join the workforce day by day, whatever. Wow. Updates. Baby Beast. Yes, Baby Beast is up and functional. Here, whoops. How come that wasn't Baby Beast? What computer was that? I better check on things here before I do something I shouldn't order. None of these computers are on. I don't know what computer that was. Okay, I'll do studio mode and have a better look at that. Oh, that's monitor 2 for Baby Beast that I did not realize I even had it configured for that. So if I do this now, yeah, you'll see Baby Beast. If I right click over here, I can prove it's Baby Beast by coming to, oh, that was it right there. Close enough. BBB baby. 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 All right. Doug's going off of his rocker. Give me my rocking chair back. I guess I owe you an update. Saturday, I reported that Baby Beast was down for the count, would not turn on. And we did some work on that on Saturday and got to the point where pretty sure it was the power supply. But I was limited in my resources here at the desk in this room. So after I ended the show, I went upstairs, grabbed a 800 watt power supply that I believe to be new. Oh, I took it back upstairs because I don't need it anymore. And connected it. I got fan spin, and I was so eager to turn right around to Carrie Holzman's chat room because I knew some of you would have been there, to report that it's fixed, that it's the power supply indeed. And later on Ken Stout's show that evening, I reported that not to be true, that it was not fixed, did not appear to be the power supply. And now the solution actually was the power supply. So what happened, Doug? The human condition happened. That's what happened. Baby Beast motherboard, and I have some video to show you. It's very tight in there. It's a very cramped, claustrophobic area. There's the Big Beast motherboard mounted on the back, so it's in a vertical orientation as we're looking at it now. And then Baby Beast motherboard lays down flat, and getting to the connectors in there, it's kind of difficult to do. So what happened is I had fan spin, and then later, 2 or 3 hours later, I looked over at Baby Beast and realized the screen wasn't up. There was nothing on it. So I went back over there to look at it because I had that 800-watt power supply connected with the case door open. It wasn't actually installed because that power supply is physically too large to put in the case. So I could no longer get fan spin. I disconnected things, reconnected, could not get fan spin. So now I'm wondering, did the motherboard actually damage the power supply? And now this is getting a little bit, really weird, really, where you want to pull out some kind of instruments to do measurements and stuff. But no. Go back to basics. When a situation looks really bizarre and weird and difficult, be sure you go back and cover the basics, because there was a basic that I had wrong. But the human condition was involved, and that's why I didn't realize it. So when I got into Ken Stout's show Saturday evening, I had not yet spent the time to figure out what's going on. So at that point in time, I still thought this was just weird and bizarre. So I reported to them. Actually, a little bit of that was during his show, but I think more after his show was over. You know what? I haven't heard any speaker bots. I'm going to test a speaker bot here. I don't see any in there, so maybe you're just listening to my story.
That's a big 10-4.
Yeah, there it is. So the sequence of events after the show Saturday, I grabbed that power supply, plugged it in, got fan spin, turned around, reported to chat that it's fixed. Then I went to have some breakfast, brunch, lunch. That was like 1:30 in my afternoon. And I hadn't eaten anything yet. So during lunch, I get a text message from Ken Stout. Yeah, I'm gonna blame it on Ken Stout. That's right. Those of you who think, oh, here it comes. Here it comes. He's gonna blame this whole thing on Ken Stout. Let's see, what was his opening? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Getting up there. There's a lot to get through. Oh, it jumped on me. Wow, jumped way up. Because I was thinking earlier, I want to see how he worded that. Because it was one of those things that many of you have faced this before. Hey, you got time for a quick question? Oh yeah, he just starts, are you busy and or available? I said, I'm eating. I'm okay talking while eating, but I won't be at the computer. So then the whole Ken Stout debacle about his roboform. For those of you who've been following the Ken Stout show, you have an idea what that was about. So we went through a very, very frustrating, aggravating experience with that. So after the struggle with Baby Beast, and then the struggle with him, then I came in here and found that Baby Beast wasn't fixed after all. I had some very choice words. The atmosphere in my house was not family friendly during that period of time. I shut the computers down, turned the lights out, left the room, grabbed a beer, watched 2.5 shows on Hulu. And when that ended, it was the Ken Stout show was, well, it was pastime. I went in, I didn't even watch the Ken Stout show. I was still watching Hulu. No, watching Ken, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to know what his update is. I wasn't ready. I wasn't in a safe place. I wasn't in a good space. So long after his show should have been over, I decided, oh, I'll go jump into his Zoom, and see if maybe he's remembered what his master password was. So I get into his Zoom, assuming that he's no longer on live stream. And I start talking with what I thought was the homies after his stream. And I expressed some of my frustration. So if you would like to hear Doug, throwing out an F-bomb live on YouTube, go watch his Saturday night show. You'll find it there. I did not know he was live. Would I have done that if I knew he was live? I don't know. I don't know, but it's there. So anyway, what happened next? Did I do anything? I don't think I did anything more. Yeah, no, so I didn't do anything after that. I went to bed. Sunday morning. Now, I had already ordered a replacement power supply because I want to say it was Zavi Minor, I think, that gave me the link, the Amazon link for it. So I had ordered it before I even reported on Carrie Holzman's chat that it was fixed. I had ordered it. So I knew it was coming in on Sunday. The new power supply would be in on Sunday. This is the old power supply. You know what, that could have hurt. It didn't, because I kind of pulled the punch. But this is the old power supply. So it's removed. The new power supply is in place. Everything is functioning. I need to give you an idea what went wrong. Why, when I plugged in that other power supply outside the case, why did it not actually start the computer? Well, this guy, the main power connector, and then there's the secondary power connector. Is that it? No, that's not it. The 8-pin. Yeah, the 8-pin. They both have to be connected in order for it to work. Well, when I went to plug in that secondary, that testing power supply, I could not find the other connector. I said, boy, there's got to be another power connector on here. So I couldn't find it. I couldn't see it. And I thought, is it back there in that corner? I can't even see back there. It's so cramped and crowded in there with parts. So I said, now this was, you know, shortly after my stream. I'm eager to report on Carrie's stream that it's fixed. So I just plugged this connector in. The other connectors I couldn't get to. So I figured that the other power supply might be still connected to it. I'm thinking it must be back there. I couldn't verify it. So I left that power supply turned on and plugged in. The motherboard's going to get this power from 2 different places, right? So I figured, you know, maybe I'll get something. So I plugged that on, and I did get something. I got fan spin. So I reported, yeah, that's it. It's the power supply. If that testing power supply was able to do anything different, then that tells me that the other power supply is indeed bad. By the time I went through lunch and the frustrations with Ken, and I just had it, I had entirely forgot about that other connector. So in the morning, after a good night's sleep, I realized, that's it. But I can't get to it. I can't get to it with that testing power supply. So the only thing I could do is to actually install the new power supply. So let me go bring up some video clips so you have an idea what that took. I have a bunch of video. I had the camera run most all the time. So this really isn't set up and edited in any reasonable way, but you'll get the idea here. So this image is a little bit difficult to comprehend. So I'm going to show all of this here that I'm pointing to is Big Beast's motherboard. Here you see the graphics card. Up here is the CPU. Here's the RAM modules. This is the capture card. Here's all the adapter slots. Then there's some connectors down here. This is Big Beast motherboard. But the problem is with Baby Beast. Down here is Baby Beast motherboard. This fan right here is mounted on top of the CPU. Here's the single RAM module. Here's an empty RAM slot at that point in time. And the power connector is over on this side. The secondary power connector is back hidden under here. And this actually is the cable for it right here. But getting fingers back there to pull that, to press that clip is kind of hard to depress. And it's just right up against Big Beast's motherboard. So I'm thinking, am I going to have to unplug everything on this machine and put it up on the desk? There's a ton of cables plugged into it. And those USB connections on the back, they are not interchangeable. They need to be in certain ports because some of my devices can't share ports with other devices. They don't get along. Now I'm going to drag this forward. So what I do, I came up with a theory of how I might be able to do this. So I remove the capture card and scrub through this, and I remove the graphics card. Of course, I disconnected the cables from the back of the computer for those. Now we got a little bit closer view here. Scrubbing forward, I'm going to pull that graphics card out. Okay, so now we have the motherboard. You can see the PCIe slots. You see headers for Big Beast motherboard. You can see that secondary power cable for Baby Beast, and it's plugged in back under there. But I still can't get my fingers back there to depress that. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to. I already had my plan. And I'm going to scrub forward here to where I can show you the plan. Do you recognize that? Do you recognize my hemostat? I'm using hemostat to depress that connector. Now I'm trying it with a spudger tool because my first attempt with the hemostat did not work. Scrubbing forward. Okay, here's the hemostat coming back. I think this time is successful. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to give you a closer view. Here somewhere. Still struggling with it, I guess. Here we go. Here we go. Now I'm going to click the play button here. I think I got it to about right. And you can see it gripped on there to depress that clip. And you can see how tight it is there. There's no way you're getting your fingers back there. Nobody know how. So here I got it out. And then release the hemostat. And scrubbing forward, doing some more stuff, trying to push that power cable out through the back, through the grommet to the back of the case. Open up the back of the case. Eventually I take the door off. I take those inside doors off. They all just slide up and come off of their hinges. So here's the power supply in the back. Here's the cables. Now, one of the things that happened when I was trying to find that secondary cable is I opened the back and grabbed these cables, and I had them all accounted for. I couldn't find the cable for that second power connector. And I know it, I asked myself, is it possible that this motherboard, this little tiny motherboard, doesn't need a second power connector? And what happened is that one of these cable groups of cables was pulled back, made a kind of a sharp angle towards the out of sight, to where it kind of left this bundle of cables, and I didn't see that bundle that was going for that extra power. Let's see, I guess that's it right there. I think I've got it removed at this point, or pulled out. Now, let's see. So then replacing that. Is there anything else significant to show in that? I have some other stuff to show, because this effort led me to another project, and that's why my camera angles look weird and my microphone looks weird. Once I got the new power supply in place, plugged everything in, it came out just fine. But I have a different story to tell now, because that led me on to another project that I have been putting off and putting off and putting off. And then since I got that done, I got that victory under my belt, I decided, well, how about we go ahead and take on this other project? Stupid, stupid, stupid. Let's get over to bring this up. The cable management around here. You know, people talk about cable management inside a computer. Yeah, I got your cable management right here. Oh, okay, let's go this way. Since discovering and implementing the thin HDMI cables, I had it in mind that I wanted to replace the rest of my thick HDMI cables with the thin HDMI cables. Then, as long as I'm doing that, might as well remove some USB cables that are no longer being utilized, replace some other cables that are too long. This one was a long USB 3.0 cable. So I removed all of these big, thick, difficult cables, ordered the thin cables, and put them all in place. Then, as long as I'm doing that, might as well reorganize cables. So here I'm going to bring up my cell phone. I'm going to bring up my cell phone on screen, cell phone camera. So I moved the desk. Whoops, I got to get. Let me get it switched over. to this microphone because we're going to go on a little journey. Switch microphones. Turn this one off. Turn this one on. Checking my audio indicator. That looks a little soft. Give me a 1 in chat if that volume is okay. Give me a 0 in chat if that's too soft. It's turned all the way up. It says turn volume up. You're gonna have to get it up. It's saying extremely low. See, I had the idea that if I have it up here higher, that it doesn't sound as good. That still is too low. Why? This doesn't really have a volume level, and that's not right. Okay, so let me try disconnect and reconnect that. Test. I just disconnected and reconnected that. No, that's still too soft. Advanced audio properties. Lavalier microphone. That would do. Let's try this. Turning this up, testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. dB is going up higher. It doesn't really seem to be doing a whole lot. Well, those numbers aren't really climbing all that fast, are they? So I'm just talking and rambling, trying to get it up higher. It's probably going to distort a bit. Might be a quality problem up this high. Wow, that's like really, really high. It's just bouncing into the yellow now. Yeah, I'm not singing. That's 20 dB. That's bouncing into the yellow. So tell me how's that sounding for you? Selden says okay now.
Read chat, please.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Oh, volume okay. Is the quality okay? Is it garbled or at all? Is the quality okay? Ran Israel acceptable. Okay. So give me if there's a problem, give me an exclamation mark P rather than read chat, because exclamation mark P gets me over to look at the chat quicker than a exclamation mark C will. Okay, now I need to switch first to my main camera before going somewhere else, because that's just the way I have it set up.
Read chat, please.
Okay. Martin Hogg asks, have you color-coded the cables at both ends and labeled all those cables? And he says, perfect sound now. I haven't done it yet, but I am prepared to do it. I have all of the equipment for doing that. And at the moment, I don't have it all organized to my satisfaction. But here I've moved the desk. Now the desk is pushed over to this side in order to give me enough space on this side to work on the cables. So there's a cable mess that I have to deal with. Now the part of the cables that you're seeing now, I've kind of straightened them out and organized them. That whole pathway used to look like this, but only after I removed them. On Saturday's show, they were all contained within those whatever you call them. I can't think of the word right now. So I pulled the cables all out of there and started organizing them and grouping them and replacing those thick video cables. Here's what the back of this looks like. And you can get an idea there why I did not want to remove all that and put this computer up on the desk in order to swap out Baby Beast's power supply, and not just because of the time that it takes to do those USB cables, but they have to go back in the correct ports. Like I mentioned earlier, some of my USB devices don't get along well sharing USB hubs with particular other devices. Now there's a power strip on that, mounted on that side of the desk. Power strip here. Those pegboards that you see, that was my first place for doing cable management. I abandoned that in favor of these sheaths or these rails that are mounted on the wall. This USB 2.0 hub provides some additional connections, so that prevents some long cables from going around the room. The monitors, now I've got these thin HDMI cables on all of the monitors. I replaced, actually this monitor is new to the desk. This was upstairs, or no, this was in my car in a box. And the monitor that I had here was getting difficult to see. That's Baby Beast's main monitor, and it was difficult to see. I also raised these monitors up. They used to only be like 3 inches up from the desk, so I raised them up about 4 inches. So now I'm looking more straight at the monitors rather than having to bend my head down. And then on this side, there's another power strip mounted on the desk. So I was working on that yesterday. I was working on that this morning. Obviously have more work to do. I have some other cables that I'm going to replace. I'm bundling these cables in logical groups. Like I have these are 3 of the HDMI cables right here. This mess over here looks more scary than it actually is. I discovered that I had a talent for untangling wires, untangling things. When I was probably about 5th or 6th grade, a friend of mine named David, he was kind of the leader of the pack amongst our 5th, 6th grade, I don't know, maybe 4th grade. Everybody kind of, gravitated around him. Well, he got his kite string all tangled up, and I untangled it. And that's when I got attention from the whole group. They were just impressed that I was able to untangle that mess, because I could sit with a project and be patient and persevere and figure it out. So we're a little bit into overtime, and I think I've covered all the stuff that I needed to tell you about my world, of course, because it's all about me. Did anybody come up with questions in chat about tech issues that you're dealing with? If so, guide me to it with read chat please messages. Oh, I got a redirect set for Kerry's show. He's got Scott Merrill on today. Ask Your Computer Guy. That should be a fun show. Closing title of the trailer is not correct. This was recorded by Tommy James during his solo career and was not known as the Shondells. All right, well, I just took what the original video said. So the way I had the camera positioned for my main cam view doesn't line up right for this picture-in-picture view, since I'm probably going to be here for a little while. Closing title. Oh yeah, that closing title was actually from the video content that I took it from. I didn't create that.
Monet, Monet, oh baby. So, I don't know what the words for that is. I guess that's another one of his songs. Yeah, Ken. See, Ken doesn't put two and two together, Steve. Steve says, top of the morning, I wonder if Baby B's live again. Have you watched me filling in for Ugster? You would have known the answer. Steve says, guess I didn't look hard enough because I didn't find any show yesterday on this channel. Ken says, LOL, I filled in for Doug. Doesn't bother saying it was on his channel, right? Ken doesn't put two and two together. What needs to be explained? Actually, I saw a note that said no show today for Monday. Or at least I thought that I saw a notification. I didn't check back at showtime. Duh, natural blonde moment for me. Yeah, see, Steve still doesn't know that was on Ken Stout's channel, not my channel. LOL, all good. Doug did not do a show, Monday show, so I filled in again. I can't believe that Doug puts money and clients ahead of this show. Yeah, really what that was about is all of the stuff that I had planned to do for Saturday and Sunday was out the window. I needed Monday to not so much recover from the events of the weekend, but to make up for it. Wonder how many people are in my generation respond to one if you're over 60. I went to assist a client yesterday. She's 98 years old and uses a computer. Now see how weird and wonky my camera is now in this scene? 98 years old. Gets around in her house just fine, does yard work, drives a car.
Read chat, please.
Oh, looks like Martin's got a question. Tech issue. I currently have a customer's Lenovo laptop, not Lenovo. Don't get the two confused. They are different machines, different manufacturers. Do not try to find the Lenovo manuals on Lenovo's website. You're not going to find it. No. All right, for those who don't know, we have fun around here with typos. I currently have a customer's Lenovo laptop that kept losing charge. Then I discovered it had a setting in BIOS called flip lid to boot, and disabling that solved it. Oh, cool. Flip lid? Did it in BIOS? Is that actually what they named it? Flip lid to boot? There's an option in BIOS called literally flip lid to boot. Probably something like open lid to power on or to boot maybe. Open lid to boot. Yeah, that's more likely what it is. Yeah, I'll go back to where I was. Oh, wait a minute. How come that's not going back? Yeah, that's where I was. Oh, it's a lot of chat. I'm not going to try to catch up with all of it. Oh, I can't even get to that. Where this thing just bounces around from me so much. Wait for it. Yeah, Scott was thinking I was going to favor you with some choice words. On my show? No, not likely. The salt. Nor was it on my stream. Yeah, it was. I used my words on your stream. I'm sure I did. But it didn't go very far because you ended the show. I don't know where I was. Oh, I remember. It was the one in chat if you're over 60. I count 6. Well, I can't even find that one. I count 6 over 60. Oh, just stop it, Doug. See, I'm going to try a different thing with the mouse. If I press my mouse wheel, that gets it into this mode for scrolling. Ghetto's computer. I'm guessing maybe Fortran. This isn't bad. Forgot the CPU 8-pin connector on the PSU. Yeah. So Greg was catching that probably before I said it, before I explained it. It was plugged in pretty, yeah, I would never had trouble with plugging things in tight enough, but I checked them carefully. The videos that I recorded, you see me actually like checking with a light on my fingernails to be sure that connectors are pushed in all the way. Ken Stout returns his old job as a vascular surgeon, VA hospital. Oh yes, that's right. When I came on the Ken Stout show, he said that he reported Baby Beast fix. I said, you're wrong again. Because I had told him that when he and I were working together on his RoboForm issue. Tim likes my shirt. I don't think this is really navy blue. It's kind of got a little bit of green in it. But close enough. You need post fan spin. Does not necessarily mean fix. Now, the thing that I was looking at is that I was getting something I was getting some acknowledgement from the motherboard that there's power present. Whereas with the old power supply, absolutely nothing, dead as a doornail. Might not have even, it might as well not been plugged into an outlet. But when I got something, even though it wasn't, didn't actually start the computer up, I got something that told me that there's a difference between the good power supply and the bad power supply. I did turn off the wrong switch during the show on Saturday, yeah. First video on VH, not sure what that was. I couldn't fix the problem with only one beer consumed. Still single. Is that referring to him or me? I don't know. Zoom Homie's got an FCC notice for broadcasting material not fit for public distribution. Mic is always hot, camera is always on. Good lesson, Steve. Yeah, the camera angle's different because I moved the desk. I kind of like this scrolling method. I'm hands-free. Just switch to that scrolling mode by pressing on my scroll wheel. Is this chat
Read
scrolling
chat,
look
please.
okay to you? See, that read chat was Daniel Pert saying, what size ups do you use on all those systems? I don't know what a size up is. Oh, UPS. I don't have a UPS on them at all. There is a UPS down there if you saw it on when I was going around with my cell phone. It's left over from it came in from a client's office. It's not reliable. And it actually would not be strong enough for Big Beast. So people saying scrolling seems okay. Is the tray for Baby Beast motherboard removable? if I disconnect everything, I did consider that. I was looking for something around on the back that would be removable so I could get through to that secondary power connector, and there was nothing there. As far as removing the whole tray, I guess I didn't seriously answer that, but I'm not going to do that without putting the whole case up here on the desk, because that's pretty big. Trying to take that out while the computer is standing up on its feet, no. But there was no access panel that would let me get to the back side of that secondary power connector. I did look specifically for that. There was a rubber grommet that would let me get a different angle on getting a tool in there. So maybe I would have been able to get that secondary power connector off without removing the capture card and the video card. But removing those two, I was okay with that because that's not the USBs. Disconnecting those cables and connecting them back in the right ports, that's easy enough. Yeah, but removable motherboard. Stop scrolling. Removable tray. That's not going to save me from disconnecting everything. I'm going to have to unplug all of the USB, all of the cables that I was wanting to not have to unplug. I'd still have to unplug all of those. So removing that whole tray was not going to be plausible solution. Whose computer is what? Whose computer is that? Chris says. What computer are you talking about? There's 1, 2, 3.
Read chat, please.
3 mini computers on my desk. Martin Hogg says, Doug, in the Lenovo IdeaPad 3 BIOS, there's a setting above flip to boot called foolproof FN control. What is that for? So I guess Martin is telling me that that is the exact wording, flip to boot. That's the exact wording of that option on Lenovo. Seems weird. But the other option he's asking about is foolproof FN control. So that FN control would be a reference to the FN key, but I'm suspecting Martin realizes that. But foolproof, what would that mean? I'm thinking that would mean that it somewhat automates it so that during boot up, if you're trying to press a function key to get one of the special boot up commands, that foolproof would mean no matter how you have the function key set for use in Windows, that during boot time, you would be getting the function keys so that you don't have to hold down the FN key in order to accomplish F10, F12, F8, whatever you're trying to get. I'm guessing. Now, so obviously F stands for fool, F-O-O-L. That's what F stands for, right? What does N stands for? Full, fool, N. No, F stands for function. And N, I guess, stands for number, function number. I don't know. I don't care. I've never had a client ask me that. I don't care. Big B's, baby B's. Of course, that's what those computers are. Is that what the question was about? Ken's out to Chris. It's Doug's. How could Chris not know that that was my computer? Can't remember if it was or not removable when Carrie built it. My recollections, I always see Carrie building on the motherboard, putting everything on the motherboard, then taking the old motherboard and putting it onto the into the computer. It seems pretty rare that he's actually removed a tray. I don't think the tray is removable. I guess I did a squirrel. I guess I could switch over to the
Read
other
chat,
microphone. This is when we were dealing with that. Marsman says, how do I see my points? Type exclamation mark, then the word points. John Downey just demonstrated it for you. That's how you do it.
Read chat, please.
Ren Israel says it literally took 5 seconds to type foolproof FN control in Google. Yeah, right. So I could have done that. He could have done that. I guess that's his point. I'm going to switch microphones.
Now I'm back on the overhead microphone. Oh, I didn't show you what's going on up on the ceiling. Ken Stout keeps wondering why I look at the ceiling. I think I've shown this before. Come on. That's a little weird. There we go. Took a little while before the phone woke up on screen. Okay, did I get it back? Have I resumed the stream? Silly goose. Checking to see if I'm back. Ken says yes. He does I see yes.
Yes, affirmative.
He was trying to do
Read chat,
exclamation
please.
mark C and he did the letter I or letter L. I don't know what that was. So Doug, what did you do just then? I've told you about this. There's a danger button. I meant to hit this button to bring up my phone, but instead I hit the upper left button on here, which is begin selected stream. Begin selected stream basically accomplishes ending this stream. So I ended the stream from OBS. Now, am I still, oh, I need to switch to
Lavalier mic. And the audio indicator is showing good. Yeah, so what I want to show is what's going on upstairs. One of these cables, this one's going up the wall. That goes to one of my Beat Saber, I forget what they call them. But then this wire goes up over here and then goes to, there's a power supply, a power strip on the ceiling. There's a cable that comes down the microphone mount to the microphone. However, that one's decommissioned, deprecated. See, it's coiled there. It's not actually being used. Because for some reason, I had to go to a different cable. So this one's not strung very nicely. I want to fix that. I've got more cables over this way. There's that power strip and a long power strip cord that goes down the wall to plug in over there. All right. Yeah, we didn't really need to see that, Doug. Oh, Martin sent an email. I noticed it on my watch. That's where I noticed it. Yeah, see? Oops. Yeah, got it on my watch. Martin Hogg.
Microphones. Now I'm on the overhead mic, or mic, depending on how you prefer to pronounce it. Or Mies, M-I-C, it could be a soft C. So I can pronounce it Mies. Oh, I gotta go. I'm not sure if that was a chuckle or if that was a laugh out loud. Okay, Ken, where he says, where did he say that? Yeah, Ken says, Doug looks at his phone for the time and his watch for the emails. I think I'm gonna, let's see, I'm at 9:25. I'm gonna give you a laugh out loud for that one. That was pretty good. Oh, I need to go find Martin's email. I guess I owe you the overtime for no show on. I hinted at a show on Sunday. After the experience Saturday, no freaking way. Yeah, I restrained myself on that F word, didn't I? Previewing Martin's photos and arranging them to be bigger. Here we go. So this is the oh, it is spelled Livono. See right there, Livono. How about that? I'm surprised. Okay, he was telling us about these odd BIOS options. I don't see the oddness there. It's got a few pictures here. System time, hyperthreading. Oh, foolproof FN control. Now, some BIOSes, when you highlight that option over on the right-hand panel, it gives you an explanation about it. Or down at the bottom. Is that, I think he just took these pictures. So are you able to highlight that option and get an explanation for it? I'm going to take that off screen for a moment and see if the details actually shows me the time. No, he doesn't have the email did not include the metadata. Secure boot.
Read chat, please.
Enabled. Oh, the other option was right next to the FN one. Oh, flip to boot. Yeah, wow. That is just, that strikes me weird. Flip to boot, foolproof FN control. All right. That last read chat says what? Checking. Oh, link from Wintermute. Doman gives a YouTube link. At 9:59, that means it is 9:59. Oh, good lordy. I'm probably not going to go back and read through all the chat. Sometimes I do that after show, but I don't see that happening today. Here's my backup running. I told you I usually am away from the computer at 10 a.m. Enable disable foolproof FN. when enabled. So this explanation probably shows up right there in the BIOS when you highlight that option. When enabled, the FN key and the control key can be used interchangeably for key combinations involving the control key. For example, you can press either Control A or function A to select all text in a text editing application. So I was completely wrong in my guess as to what that is. And I'm trying to imagine, really, why? When enabled, the function key, the FN key is right next to the control key. They can be used interchangeably. So foolproof. I guess that's just in case you fat finger the control key and you hit the FN key also or instead of. Well, that would be a problem in WordPerfect for DOS. WordPerfect for DOS, if you hold down the control key and press the function key, you get something, you get a different function. So if you're trying to get the little blue action that's on a function key and you press the FN key, but you have this thing turned on, then you'd be getting control and the function key rather than the FN. I would not enable that. When enabled, they can be used interchangeably. I would disable it. I'm guessing that's the default. Turn off, flip to power, auto power on, disable. Okay, so that's just showing how to do it, and that's this person's recommendation, apparently. Going into BIOS, making the changes, and explaining the effect. I don't need to go any further down that road. You have those links to pursue that for anyone who's interested.
Read chat, please.
Thanks, Doug. Yes, I have disabled both. So, Martin, that will get you some points for bringing a subject for us to talk about. I don't think I saw any orange. So we're about to end the show. Oh, there's orange. Ken Stout says you are in Fresno. Well, thanks, Ken. I was wondering about that. I was going to Google it, actually, to find out where I was. Somebody might ask, why is Ken informing you that you're in Fresno? I don't even bother asking anymore. That's this whole thing about UGG. I haven't asked. I haven't speculated. I think when I find out what the genesis of that was, I'm probably going to be pretty disappointed. I doubt that I'm going to say, oh, that's clever. I doubt it. Okay. I'm intending to have my normal show tomorrow. Ken Stout has his job orientation tomorrow. Carrie Holzman is going to have a show today with Scott Merrill. Ask Your Computer Guy. Is there anything else? I don't think so. Let's get out of here. Hasta la vista, baby. Goodbye.
That's all, folks.
Tune in 6 days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries, with friends who are here almost every subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you dream. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tune in 6 days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you've dreamed. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply more deeply VB, where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme.